All right, hey guys. So here I'm going to kind of go over the steps for events 515 and 520. They are virtually the same, so I am going to combine them. So the first step is going to Google Classroom, and on Google Classroom, going to the competitive event documents. If you have not joined the Google Classroom for Business Professionals of America, please do. You can see here that the class code is QBUI3KT. So when you go to that Google Classroom, if you go to classwork, you can scroll down to the competitive event documents. They're organized by competitive event spread. So I'm going to open 515. 515s and 520s are almost identical. So you double click on it, and then it's going to open it for you to read. This 4-page document should become so fluent to you that you know everything on it. It tells you absolutely what you have to include, and it also tells you how it'll be evaluated. So if you have a printer, my recommendation is that you print this off. If you would like it printed copy but don't have a printer, email me and I will print one and mail it to you. Or handwrite out your own notes version of it. So for Event 515, you have to submit a copy of your resume and a copy of your cover letter. The only addition for Event 520 is you have to do your resume, your cover letter, and a portfolio. It shows you kind of the competencies that they're going to look over, and then the specifications. So again, if we look through these specifications, ignore the pre-submit date here because that is for nationals. Ours is going to be in early January for the pre-submit. You will get a member ID, and those member IDs is how you will label things. When you are addressing your cover letter, they want you to address your cover letter to Miss Julie Smith, the manager at the Human Resources Department, Digital Communications. Here's the fake address. So the cover letter will be addressed to her. And then when you go into your actual competition, you will be able to reference your resume with yourself while you're there. The actual interview with the judges is no more than 15 minutes, and that includes time for you to ask questions. You will lose points if you do not ask the judges questions. So you're going to need to write down 5 to 6 questions that you can ask the judges pertinent to the job you're applying for. Then the next 2 pages show you the rubric in which you will be graded upon. So you get 10 points just for submitting things in the right format. Then down here, your cover letter should be in business letter format. And then they're going to look at, is it addressed and introduced correctly? Are your skills listed on your cover letter relevant to the job you're applying for? Is there a closing, and is there correct grammar and spelling? Same for your resume. Here's one that's we've lost points on each year because you don't actually do this in the real world, but they want you to actually put the position in which you are applying for on your resume. So that'll most likely be done in an objective statement, and you will state in that objective statement the actual job you are applying for. You're also going to be graded on layout. Is everything listed in reverse chronological order with correct grammar and spelling? If you are applying for one of the jobs that is more a creative job, like graphic design or digital media specialist, we can have a little bit more fun with our resume and cover letter look. If you're applying for one of the ones in business or finance, then we do need to do a little bit more boring one. And then if you scroll down to the next page, this is how you will be graded when you go to your interview. Your interview will be virtual this year. However, you will still have to do a proper greeting. So introducing yourself when you walk into the room. You will have to be in business attire. So that business attire is for whatever gender in which you identify with. So if you identify as male, then you would wear a suit and tie. You can have a little bit of fun with the coloring on the suit, on the shirt and the tie, or you can just go standard black suit, white shirt, black tie, blue tie, call it a day. Personality and poise, so, you know, do you use eye contact, all that sort of stuff. Your proper grammar. When they say proper grammar, they are meaning professional business grammar. So that means, you know, no slang words, that you're using proper adjectives, that you're using proper pronouns, all that sort of stuff when you are speaking with them. Then your responses to appropriate questions. So are you able to answer the questions in a full aspect or a full way and whatnot? And then did you show evidence for following the following job required skills? And then how did you close your interview? And including your questions for the interviewer. That's kind of how you'll be evaluated. So it's really important to know that so that you know what to practice. The next step after you've read through all this and know what you're thinking is under the BPA. We're not going to look under here. We're going to go up to the one where it says practice tests. You will click on practice tests. And that will take you to a Google Drive folder. The Google Drive folders are organized by event. I have it open here, so it should let me in. So you would, in the BPA training documents, you would scroll down to event 515 or event 520, whichever one it is that you're doing. But I'll do 515 for the purposes of this demo. In event 515, you can see examples from years past. So I did put up some resumes from years past and cover letters so that you can see examples of what I'm talking about by being able to have a little bit of fun with the coloring and whatnot. Layout is super, super important. So making sure that your layout is consistent, you don't have layout errors, that it all fits on one page, all of that sort of stuff. And I apologize for my computer being super slow. It might not load these. I will show them to you a different way. So these are what I put up there. I'll just show them to you from my computer instead. So your header should be the same from your resume to your cover letter. So again, format-wise would be your header, date, Miss Julie Smith, manager, blah, blah, blah. Dear Miss Julie Smith, and then your cover letter, sincerely, your name. If you can do a digital signature, that would be preferable. And you'll see that this matches his resume. So he took a pretty basic route to his resume, nothing too super fancy, but you can see that the flow was very good. It listed things in reverse chronological order. Had a couple little layout things by like having the GPA way over here, but for the most part it looked fine. Another example would be Cedric's. Cedric went ahead and made his own little like logo that was up in the corner. But again, header, date, person you're addressing it to. He forgot to put Dear Miss Edna Rednick, should be right there. Then writing to express those. So there's sometimes we still make mistakes. And then you can see that this matches his resume in format, color, and font. So those are the things that are kind of really important to make sure that they all match. The next thing you're going to do is in Google Classroom, you will see on the Google Drive thing under Event 515, there is an individual document standing there that's the Style and Reference Manual, which is right here. It's a PDF. I have it open on my computer again. So this PDF is going to explain to you the jobs that you can apply for. And so you're going to scroll down to page 33, I believe. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, page 33. And here on page 33, you are able to see the organizational chart and fake company information, as well as a list of all the jobs. So you are able to apply for any of the jobs in this box. I would recommend doing one for us that's either website liaison, desktop publishing graphic design assistant, regular graphic design assistant. You do the graphic design assistant under administrative support, desktop publishing under administrative support, and then under information technology, another good one is the digital media specialist. But you can pick whatever job on this list that you would like to apply for. Don't worry about the proofreader marks. So that's what you'll use this for, is page 33, to pick who you're applying, what job you're applying for. Then your next step, so you have picked your job. After you picked your job, you have written your cover letter and your resume. You've had several people proof your cover letter and resume. The fourth step is to prepare for the questions that could be asked. So for students in my program, you will have to turn in these notes. The students in other programs, my preference is that you do them, but I can't require it, but it does help you prepare. So I'm going to make a Google Doc, and I'm going to title that Google Doc, maybe I'm not going to make a Google Doc. So I was going to show it to you on Google as a Google Doc, but my Google Drive is messing up right now. So I'm going to do it based off the documents that are saved, but these are what are uploaded to Google Drive. So the next step is for you to prepare to answer the questions. So you're going to want to make a blank document in Word, Notes, Google Drive, Google Doc, whatever. Then when you go to Google Classroom, under the Business Professionals America practice tests 515, you'll be able to see from years 2014 all the way through 2019 nationals the questions from years past that the judges have asked. So if you double click, for example, on 2018, it will open, and this one here that says interview skills key is going to be the one you'll double click and look at. And so then what you would do is you'll see there are usually about 40 questions listed, 30, 40 questions listed. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy those questions into a Google Drive or a Word doc, whatever works for you. And then you're going to want to paste them into that document. What this is going to allow you to do is have these questions and then actually prepare for answering those questions. So the best way to prepare for those questions is to actually type out or write out your responses. So, you would title it whatever you want. And then you would look through every question and answer it. And some of them are harder to answer than others, but the key is that whatever it is, even if it's like a negative question that it's asking, that you spin it to be a positive. So here, where would you like to be in your career 5 years from now? So I would just do this, and it can be bullet points, it can be written out in sentences, but in 5 years from now, I would like to be blah, blah, blah. I would like to have earned my master's in graphic design, which would allow me to have more experience. You can see how I'm just typing out and planning it. So you'll go through several years of these questions. Obviously, as you go to 2018 to 2019 to 2020, you look at, you're not going to have to re-answer every single question because some of them are going to be the same from year to year. You can also, because this is just a suggested list of questions, you can also go to Google and type in like most common interview questions, and you can go here and you can find what statistically are some of the most frequently asked interview questions. So you can add to that list by doing ones like, tell me about yourself. That's probably one of the most common. Why should we hire you? What are your weaknesses? Those are all very common questions to get asked. So I also recommend that you make sure that the top 50 interview questions are answered as well, so that you know that you're prepared. Once you've written out all of your answers, the next step is that you practice them. And what I mean by that is out loud, not just reading them. Practice saying them out loud into the mirror. Record yourself on your phone, because what you want to make sure you're doing is you want to avoid your stutters. You want to avoid your things like, like, and a lot of times you can't hear that unless you're listening back to it or somebody points it out to you. So you'll want to practice these questions over and over again, and then we will do also some mock interviews and mock interviews with your peers and with industry folks to help you get even more ready. So that is kind of a quick rundown of events 515 and 520. And then if you're doing 520, there's also the portfolio aspect, but I will touch base with those people one-on-one for how to do the portfolio. But you're pretty much just putting together a PowerPoint of applicable works.